to see everybody and staff as well, and our petitioner. I do have call the hearing and then just a little legal jumbo that I have to read here to start the meeting with our Open Meetings Act. Pursuant to Section 7E of the Illinois Open Meetings Act, the August 21st, 2020 gubernatorial disaster proclamation and written determination of the Zoning Board of Appeals Chair. A public meeting can be held by audio or video conference without a physical quorum. Due to public health concerns, this hearing is being conducted by audio video conference. Please note this hearing may be continued and without further notice on the motion of the Zoning Board of Appeals. All interested parties that are in attendance today will be given the opportunity to be heard. This hearing is being recorded and live streamed at lakecountyil.gov/watch ZBA to allow members of the public the ability to watch the hearing. In-person attendance can also be made available to the public in the second floor conference room at the Lake County Permit Facility, 500 West Winchester Road, Libertyville, Illinois, and is limited to the number of persons practical in keeping with social distance requirements. With that, Brad, if you want to call the roll at this time.
Member Hockney? I can see Member Hockney, but I didn't hear an aye.
Here.
Member Peterson?
Here.
Here.
Member Raymond?
Here.
Member Reindl?
Present.
Member Roche?
Here.
Member Starkey?
Here.
And Chairman Kappan?
Here.
All 7 members accounted for.
Perfect. Thank you, Brad. We will dispense with the pledge. And as a reminder to the board members, if you're unable to share your video, please ensure your camera is on. When you're speaking and when voting, if you wish to speak, please raise your virtual hand. If you're calling in with your phone, press *9 to raise your hand. After your name has been called to speak, allow for a short delay to be unmuted. If board members, as well as members of the public or county staff, could please keep themselves muted for the duration of the hearing. Unless speaking, it will help prevent any undue interruption during the hearing. Hannah, did you just want to explain that raising of hand again, since we've got some new people on here, just so they know how to unmute themselves in that?
Yes, I will not try and share my screen like last time because I found out it didn't work. But if everybody's looking at the screen for Zoom, other than John, who is on the phone, so his is a little different, but it says your mute and unmute is on the bottom left of your screen. A dash of the microphone, you're off. If it's no dash, you're on. Like Chair Kappan said, we ask that you mute unless being called on. If you would like to raise, or it's your turn to ask questions. If you'd like to ask a question or make a comment outside of called on, please raise your hand. You can do that by clicking on participants in the middle of your screen, and you should be able to raise your hand. There's a little raise hand icon at the bottom. Does anybody have any issues with that?
Okay.
Okay. All right. And then John, you can raise your hand on the video, or you can raise your hand on the phone. So, or raise your hand in person. I will be watching for everybody's hands, and I will alert the chair that somebody has a question or comment so that he can call on you. Please, give a second for unmuting and muting because it can take a second. So, all right. Any other questions?
Good.
All right.
Thank you. We are here today to hear ZBA case 546-2020 and 548-2020. Please note selected items from the application, as well as any individual evidence to be provided by the applicants or members of the public ahead of the hearing, may be presented via screen during the course of this hearing. Physical evidence germane to topics of today's agenda have been previously submitted. However, if there are additional items the petitioner or members of the public desire to submit to the record, please indicate by raising your virtual hand, and staff will coordinate with you on how to send an email containing the materials prior to the closing of the hearing today. With that, we do have to administer the oath. So if you are not a board member, or if you're going to say anything today or make any testimony, if you just raise your right hand, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
Thank you.
I do.
As part of the public agenda, public comment was invited through email or voicemail up until the beginning of this hearing. Comments that have been received by 9 a.m. today will be read during consideration of that item. Comments received during the hearing, but after the applicable agenda item is heard, will be held until the end of the hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes, as always. And if there's no questions before we begin, I just do remind you that this is being recorded And it will be placed on the YouTube channel that they have for the Lake County ZBA as well. So just keep your comments pertinent to what's going on in the hearing today. That would be appreciated. With that, I'll turn it over to staff and their comments to start the hearing off.
Applicants are seeking a variance, have the burden of proving to the Zoning Board of Appeals that the required standards of the Lake County Code have been met, even if there is no objections to the variance. At the conclusion of today's case, the ZBA must make a finding of facts identifying its reasons for granting or denying the requested variance. This hearing may be continued and without further notice on the motion of the Zoning Board of Appeals. If the board does not reach a decision today, the case will be continued. Supporters and objectors should be prepared to participate in additional meetings. The board may require the petitioner to meet certain conditions so that the uses allowed by the variance will not have a negative impact on nearby properties. The applicant and the public will have an opportunity to make suggestions regarding appropriate conditions. If you would like to speak, please indicate by using the raise hand feature or typing your request in the chat box. Staff will call your name at the appropriate time during the ZBA meeting. Once your name has been called, you must identify yourself for the public record and then address remarks to the ZBA, applicant, or PB&D staff. Please speak clearly and try to limit remarks directly to the matter under discussion. Speakers are called in the order they made the request to speak. Please be advised the initial public participation is limited to questions of applicant, ZBA, or staff. Any comments for or against will be made after the initial testimony. Additionally, there will be an opportunity at the end of the meeting for comments. ZBA number 000546-2020 is a variation request to 1. Allow one accessory structure to remain on a parcel without a principal structure. 2. Reduce the side yard setback for an existing accessory structure from 13 feet to 0 feet. 3. Reduce the front street setback for an existing accessory structure from 30 feet to 0 feet. And 4. Allow a second new accessory structure on a parcel without a principal structure. The applicant is Jeffrey Liesendahl Revocable Trust. Jeffrey and Pamela Liesendahl, trustees, recorded owner. The property is 25612 West Florence Avenue, Antioch, Illinois. Is approximately 1.41 acres and is a conforming lot in the residential 1 zoning district. The legal notice for the case was published in the Daily Herald on September 9th, 2020, and posted on the county website. Correspondence about the case has been received from the Lake County Divisions of Engineering, Building, and Health. The applicant's attorney, Adam Hecht, will present the application today. And for the record, the original application is on file in the Zoning Board of Appeals office, and a copy of the applicant's original application and deed was provided to the Zoning Board of Appeals members prior to the hearing and made available for public view on the county website under the ZBA agenda for this meeting.
Sounds good. Thank you, Tom. Any questions from any board members on the staff report?
Mr. Chairman, do you want to do introductions of staff?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Brad. If you want to start with yourself and then go around, that'd be great. We do have several staff online today that are helping us through this, so appreciate that.
Good morning. My name is Brad Dents. I'm the recording secretary for the Zoning Board of Appeals.
I'm Tom Shafala. I'm a principal planner for Planning, Building, and Development, and I am the project manager for this variance.
This is John Strauss. I'm an engineer for Planning, Building, and Development.
This is Krista Brown, Planning and Zoning Manager. I will be sharing my screen as needed. So if there is any exhibits as we go through the hearing that people would like to discuss and have showing, just let me know and we'll get it up there.
Robert Springer, building official, Lake County Planning, Building and Development.
Good morning. This is Tom Copenaver with the Health Department.
Eric Wagner, Planning, Building and Development Director. Sorry, Eric Steffen, PB&D Operations Manager.
Anna Mulroy, Senior Planner with Lake County Planning Building Development, and I am, I believe, the designated technical officer for the virtual Zoom meeting. So if anybody has any tech issues, please let me know.
Awesome. I think that's everybody. Thanks to all the staff for all they did to get us to this point. It's been several months since we were able to meet since our last meeting last week, so we appreciate that. Mr. Liesendahl, welcome, and Mr. Hecht, welcome. If I understand it, Mr. Hecht, you'll be presenting on behalf of the petitioner. If you'd like at this time, you can start with your testimony and tell us what they want to do. Mr. Hecht or Liesendahl, are you there?
I am here. I cannot hear Mr. Hecht though.
Give it a minute, see if he pops up.
Mr. Heck, if you're having issues, I just know that we had to mess around with the microphone capabilities on some people's computers. So if you go next to mute, there's an arrow up, and sometimes toggling which microphone it's trying to use might work. Just my 2 cents. It may work.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
You can hear me. Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you.
I switched microphone. No, I was just asking if I needed to be sworn in first.
Were you sworn in before? You're an attorney as well, so you're okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was having audio difficulties of all things coming in.
No worries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to. Yes, I'll correct a bit. I am going to present the application and go briefly over the standards for a few minutes, and then I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Liesendahl so he can really walk you through all the details of the property and the neighborhood and why he's doing what he's doing. And also, just for the sake of brevity, I don't want to simply regurgitate what's in the application. I'm sure everyone's read it, or in the staff report as well for the same reason, but it is important to point out and what's going on here. This is a property that originally was one estate with some other parcels, and was subdivided. The current house where Mr. Liesendahl lives was constructed over 100 years ago, and then maybe a decade later, the property was subdivided. But this was all a farm. And this was the original farmhouse. The current property that's being used where the house is and the some accessory structures and a coach house, etc., again, was all built in 1905. And it was built for its time. For instance, what could be considered a parking garage was really designed for, horse and buggy, and is too short for an automobile to fit in. There's no way to do it. It's just the depth isn't there. So modifying existing structure is really not possible. This isn't a situation where we have the space and all we have to do is, rehab the interior. That isn't where the only way to do it would be to demolish the building. The buildable area of that lot is almost entirely comprised of a well and septic field, so that it prevents any new construction on the current property. So the only way to do anything would be to demolish existing historic structures, which would not be in the spirit of the zoning ordinance. The property across the street is where the opportunity lies. And there is an existing milk barn, which Mr. Liesendahl proposes in his application to remodel, not expanding its footprint, just simply taking a dilapidated building and turning it into something that really will look nice, but also be usable. And in addition, proposes to construct the garage that he doesn't have in the only place he can do it. on this lot across the street. The hardships here are due to the historic nature of this property, and what I would contend is with the only way to do it again is to demolish existing structures, which is really not the purpose of a zoning ordinance. The new structures will be constructed in the style of the old ones. It will all fit together and it will look a lot nicer. The neighbors have been consulted. They've all voiced support. We have letters from them all that were submitted with the application. So there's really, this does meet the standards for a variance under the zoning ordinance. And this is speaking to matter VAR 546. Again, I wasn't here at the beginning, so I don't know if we're handling both of them together. The other VAR 548 is simply a housekeeping application to change from what is currently legal non-conforming on the existing where the home is on that lot to convert that to legal with a variance, so that if Mr. Liesendahl in the future wants to do some work on his existing structures, we don't have to come back. Again, he's not changing anything. This is simply to memorialize as legal what's been there for 115 years. If you like to ask if there are any questions for me before I turn this over to Mr. Liesendahl, please ask away.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Hecht. And I assume we'll take them kind of both together since they go hand in hand. It makes sense to do that. So if that's okay, we'll do that. Any before we move forward.
Greg, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you want to do that, I would suggest that we have Tom read the details about case 548 as well.
Sounds good. Tom, if you want to do that, so we've got that on record, that'd be great.
ZBA case number 00548-2020 is a variation request to 1, allow an existing accessory dwelling unit on a parcel of less than 80,000 square feet. 2, allow an existing accessory unit to exceed 1,000 square feet. 3, allow an existing accessory dwelling unit to contain more than 1 bedroom. 4, allow an existing accessory dwelling unit to exceed 1 story. And 5, reduce the front street setback from 30 feet to 0 feet for an existing accessory dwelling unit. The applicant is Jeffrey Liesendahl and Pamela Liesendahl, recorded owners. The property address is 25615 West Florence Avenue, Antioch, Illinois, and is approximately 1.5 acres and is a conforming lot in the R1 zoning district. The legal notice for the case was published in the Daily Herald on September 9th, 2020, and posted on the county website. Correspondence about the case has been received from the Lake County Divisions of Engineering, Building, and Health. The applicant's attorney, Adam Heck, will present the application today. And for the record, the original application is on file in the Zoning Board of Appeals office, and a copy of the applicant's original application and deed was provided to the Zoning Board of Appeals members prior to the hearing and made available for the public view on the county website under the ZBA agenda for this meeting.
Great. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. Board members, any questions of Mr. Hecht before we turn it over to Mr. Liesendahl for his summary presentation? Remember to raise your hand if you'd like, or if you can't figure that out, just wave. We'll get you there. Seeing and hearing none at this time, Mr. Liesendahl, if you'd like to make some comments.
Thank you very much. Thank you, board. I think I'm glad to be one of the first virtual hearings here. So thank you for having me. I hope just today to give you just some background on kind of what my wife and I are doing on the Curtis Tech estate. We actually are trying to restore it's Curtis Tech, and I'll give you a little background on him. Curtis Tech was raised in Germany. He came to the United States around the Chicago World Fair. He was a printer in Germany, as was his dad and brother. He ultimately became the largest postcard manufacturer printer in the United States. His factory was down in Chicago. And so prior to, just a little history, prior to radio and TV, how you advertise your business is you printed a postcard. And so he was the largest in the US in the 1920s and 30s doing that. In the application, I show you some of those. If you're into postcards, which I think I'm not into them, but they're really kind of cool. He's pretty well known for that. He purchased our house on Bluff Lake in the 30s, and they made an estate. It was originally the entire peninsula. It was a farm. The barns were across the street. Again, this is a different age, but that was all for the farmland, and barns and auxiliary buildings with that. We had the ability to buy the lot just past year in October. Let me give you a little more history on Curtis. He died in 1974. At that time, his son granted the Lake County the entire history of the postcards of the Curtis Tech Printing Museum, 2.5 million postcards. They also gave an endowment to Lake County to do that. So they actually, in the Lake County Discovery Museum, was the Curtis Tech postcard exhibits. That it has been the largest postcard exhibit in the United States. When the museum got moved a couple of years ago, that was actually transferred to Chicago, but that museum has been in Lake County, the postcards for almost 30 years. At that point, is very, very, very well known. As I said, we bought our house about 7 years ago. We bought the lot across the street about a year ago. We've been working to rehab the house. I think if you looked in the application, we've done a whole bunch to restore it historically, to kind of add it back to its glory. We specifically bought the lot across the street to kind of solve a couple purposes. One, I think you saw the picture of the barn in the application, is literally right across the street from our house. And it's in pretty poor shape, at least on the outside. Structurally, it's fine, but it's definitely the eyesore of the neighborhood. So we negotiated for about 6 years to finally buy that lot. We were able to buy it. And our goal is to fix up that barn, make it not the eyesore of the neighborhood. We also wanted to somehow, the sandbar, if you've been near there, the sandbar, marina is right there. Their storage building is kind of on the back of it. It kind of shows to the whole residential neighborhood. We'd like to block that out from the neighborhood. And also, as my attorney mentioned, we also need parking. So there is nowhere. We have the main house and the coach house. The coach house has some doors that are garage doors, but you can't park a car in there. It was originally a horse stable. So we effectively have a house and auxiliary building with no parking spots. And so we were hoping to be able to do is to add a garage across the street. It's the only real place we could do that. What we didn't want to do, though, was tear down this historic barn. We think it'd just be a shame to have to tear this barn down to be able to do that. So we're asking for a variance to that. And not only just maintain it, we submitted some of the drawings to show what the barn looks like today and what we propose to do to fix that up. The neighbors are thrilled. In fact, they've all asked me when the hearing was, when's this going to get done? So they are excited about that. And then we've also the proposed garage. We're trying our best to kind of match the style of the house. We're pushing it back on the lot so it's way off the street. We're trying to do everything we can to kind of make the building we're creating mix in with the existing estate and not be a problem for the neighborhood. And I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. Glad to answer questions. So
awesome, sounds good. Thank you. And probably one of the most longest history lessons we've had on a piece of property. So I always appreciate that as well. It is valued and we appreciate it. And nice job on the packet as well that you put together for us. With that, I'll turn it over. Brad, I guess just to make it easier, if you want to go through the list and call everyone out and see if they have any questions so that we're not all talking at once, if that's okay.
I think Hannah is the one that's overseeing the hands up.
Okay, Hannah, if you just want to kind of go through and call each member off, we'll just let them speak individually if they have to.
Sure. Yep. There's no hands up at this moment. So I am just going to make my way through the list as I see people on my screen, if that sounds okay.
Sounds great.
Okay. So we're going to start with Dennis. Member Hockney, I apologize. Member Hockney, do you have any questions? You're on mute. You'll need to press unmute. There you go. Member Hockney.
Across the street, there seemed to be a second building. It was further back. The guy was getting a new roof. What is that building?
Yeah, that is not our lot. That was originally part of the original barn. The estate we bought the property from only sold us the lot that's exactly parallel to ours. So that lot, again, part of the original estate, we could not buy that lot though. And so the existing trust that owns that I'm not sure what they're actually doing to it. So.
And the only other question I have, do you have a rendering of what the milk barn's going to look like or what the plans are?
Yeah, that actually was included with the application. I'm not sure if they can show that, but we do have that.
It was in there?
Give me just a second. I'll try and get it pulled up.
Right.
Is that the one with the 3 garage doors?
No, that's the one with the 2 garage doors there. It shows kind of
the 3 garage doors. I thought that was the coach house. But...
Oh yes, sorry. Yeah, that is the actual coach house. That is the existing coach house. But
yeah, that's not the milk, but that's not the rendering of the milk barn.
No, huh? Mm-mm. There's a separate architectural drawing for that. That shows it kind of before and after.
I don't think I had that, but anyway, that's.
It's on the screen now. Member
No,
Hockney.
that's the new barn. That's not the.
I was just curious. It doesn't.
Yeah.
My mind one way or the other.
But yeah, well, I mean, just real quick, what it's doing is we've taken the existing barn. It was kind of combined. It was originally a shed and then a barn got attached to it. So there's kind of doors and windows all over the place. We're trying to make it, what we're going to do is we're going to fix the doors, which are falling down, the kind of shed doors that are falling down. We're going to center the door. We're going to put the windows on either side of it, and just, again, very consistent with what's being there, but make it look, what your head looks like, around a traditional barn.
Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Member Hockney. If you could return to mute. I have Member Peterson.
Good morning. I just want to say this is a very thorough packet of information, everything from the pictures of way back when to what you have now. It actually helped, and your future building renderings. I could see where Member Hockney got confused, because I did too, because the property line is so thin. There's a very thin wired fence that divides the 2 properties, and I could see that.
Yeah.
It's easy to get confused there. But I appreciate the detail on both packages. So other than that, I have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Member Starkey.
Thank you. Looking at the packet of information and hearing the testimony, I think it's a definite improvement to the property. It fits in with the feel of the neighborhood. None of the neighbors had any issues with it, and I could see how they would be very excited about it. And I also appreciated the little bit of history there, because I didn't realize that about the postcard, and I've been to that museum. So that was very interesting, and I have no questions, and I think it's a very interesting project.
Thank you, Member Starkey. Member Roche.
I drove by it this weekend, and the restoration that you've done to the house is beautiful. So if you restore these other buildings, you know, in the same fashion, I'm sure your neighbors are going to be really happy.
Okay, member Raymond?
Thank you, Hannah. For just a point of privilege, I have known the Tyke family for many years, and in 1974, I conducted the funeral for Kurt Tyke, so that I'm.
Oh, really?
Found this. Yes. So I find this whole report, when I saw Kurt Tyke's name, very much of a nostalgic event for my life. As far as the application is concerned, I have no questions, and your explanation as to the rationale as to why you're doing what you're doing was what I needed to know. Thank you very much, and wish you much success in your project.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, member Rindle, we're going to be on you. You got to press star 6, I think, to unmute yourself. Star 9. Can't quite remember now. Star 9.
Sorry. I just did my thing.
Marv, we can hear you still.
Yeah.
Marv, we can hear you still.
Oh. Okay. My wife just walked into the office.
Hello. John, I'm going to try and ask you to unmute and see what it does, because I know we're having some trouble with your phone.
And I don't think we have an audio. He doesn't have a microphone connection through the video link, so we would need to have him.
He is on a phone. He's on a phone right now.
So we can. Do you want me to unmute him?
I think we can only ask to unmute him. I think we might have to change the settings to be able to unmute and mute people without permission. So just give him another moment. I can see he's messing with his phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked to unmute, but it's not doing anything.
John was the last one you had on the list, right, Hannah?
Yes, I mean, I was going to call on you next. So if you want to share, Captain, if you want to go, we'll work with
Yeah,
that.
we can, if John does pipe in, that's fine. I have nothing either. The other board members kind of have my same sentiment. A great job putting it together. Love to see a historic property restored, and the neighbors seem excited about it. I appreciate the comments from the neighbors too that were included in the packet. And again, apologize it took this long with COVID to get you here. I know you've probably been waiting to get things done too, so hopefully you can get that process going. With that, I will ask, are there any, I don't think anyone in the public joined the call. Hannah, can you verify that? Staff,
Do not see any members of the public.
Staff, did we receive any objections, written or verbal, before this meeting today?
We did not receive any written public comment.
Sounds good. Thanks. Still nothing from John. Just checking one more time there.
John, I can see you looking at me. You want to try one more time? Press star and then 9, I think, right?
Nothing yet. John, we'll let you play with that a little bit. We'll go back to the petitioner. If you have any closing comments based on anything you've heard from any of the board members at this time, now would be your opportunity to go ahead and make those before we close testimony on this.
Great. No, just no comment. Saying thank you very much for your comments, and I'm kind of excited to hear that you ran his funeral. So that was kind of fun to hear. So no, thank you very much. We're excited about it. The neighbors are clearly excited because the signs have been up. Everyone has stopped by to ask when the hearing is and what do they need to do to help. So I think they are all excited. We are too. And it has been a wait. This COVID thing has pushed it out, but we are prepared to get started as soon as we can. So
great. Thank you for your comments too. I don't think we have John yet.
John has his hand raised. I realized, John, if you can hear me, it's star 6, not star 9. Try that. I just had to Google it. Sorry, I'm getting my hand raised and my muting confused.
And Chairman and Hannah, if that does not work, I can always call his landline and obtain his question and put it out to the public here.
You can call him and put him on your phone on speaker.
Brad, why don't you do that if you want? I'll just go around one more time and see if there are any other, we can go around and get the feel of the board at this time. Hannah, if you wanted to call the board members off individually and see if they have any.
Okay, I'll do that while Brad calls John.
And we won't close, I won't close testimony yet, just in case John has something.
Okay, yeah, he's raising his hand, so I'm wondering if he has something to say. Okay,
Okay.
so just one last pass around roll call to see if anybody has any closing comments. Member Hockney.
I'm okay with the whole project. I look forward to seeing it when it's finished.
Okay, great. Member Peterson?
No further comments. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful project. Too bad I live so far away to enjoy it more often.
Brad, do you have John before I go to the next person?
No, I don't.
Okay. Member Starkey?
No questions. Looks like a wonderful project. Good luck with the construction.
Member Roche?
No questions. It looks great.
Member Raymond?
No questions. Very happy to see this project moving on.
Brad, still no Randall?
Give him another 30 seconds here if you don't mind.
Okay, why don't you call his cell phone? It will pop up over the call we're on.
I am.
Okay.
And I'm not going
Chair
to.
Captain.
Yeah, I don't
You're
have
the last.
any, no comments or questions. Looks like a great project. Again, thanks for the patience. And thanks for 30 more seconds of patience here as we try to get John on there.
This is the nature of Zoom call.
My call ended with Johnson and
All right.
dropped.
Okay,
All right.
we'll work on getting John a better solution before the next hearing.
Sounds good. We will go ahead then. I need a motion to close testimony as an order if someone would make that.
I'll make a motion.
Member Peterson makes the motion,
I'll second the motion.
second by Member Starkey. Any discussion? All in favor? We'll do, you want a roll call, Brad?
Yes. Member Hockney,
Aye.
Member Peterson,
Aye.
Member Raymond,
Aye.
Member Rindle, thumbs up. Member Rindle. Thank you. Thumbs up, acknowledged. Member Roche,
Aye.
Member Starkey,
Aye.
and Chairman Kappan.
Aye.
Testimony's closed.
Great, sounds good. Thanks. At this time, we'll entertain a motion then first for ZBA case 546-2020. So if someone would make that motion at this time.
I
I'll make
so
the
move.
motion. Oh, whoever.
Member Peterson, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve case number VAR-000546-2020 with regard to the following variations sought by the petitioners. 1, allow one accessory structure to remain on a parcel without a principal structure. 2, reduce the side yard setback for an existing accessory structure from 13 feet to 0 feet. 3, reduce the front street setback for an existing accessory structure from 30 feet to 0 feet. And 4, allow a second new accessory structure on a parcel without a principal structure.
Sounds good. Thanks, Member Peterson. And if it's okay to add that it does meet the standards as presented today, is that okay with your motion?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. We have a first from Member Peterson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Member Starkey. Any discussion? Brad, a roll call vote if you would.
Member Peterson,
Aye.
Member Starkey,
Aye.
Member Hockney,
Aye.
Member Raymond,
Aye.
Member Rindle with a hand vote up and the affirmative is recognized. Member Roche
Aye.
and Chairman Kappan.
Aye.
A positive recommendation for case 000546 and 70.
Great. Sounds good. Thanks. And we'll need the same, again, a motion for 548-2020.
Also move.
Who is that?
Maria.
Maria, yeah, if you could just read it off again too, just so he's got it for the record, that'd be awesome.
Okay. I make a motion to approve case number VAR-000548-2020 to approve the 5 variance requests by petitioners to remedy the nonconformity of the coach house and to allow it to be rebuilt within its existing footprint and height in the current location in the event that it is destroyed.
Perfect. Is there a second to Member Peterson's motion?
Second.
Second from Member Starkey. Thank you. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none. Brad, if you would do roll call on that.
Yes, Member Peterson,
Aye.
Member Starkey,
Aye.
Member Hockney,
Aye.
Member Raymond,
Aye.
Member Reindl. Thumbs up in the affirmative for Member Reindl. Member Roche
Aye.
and Chairman Kappan.
Aye.
Positive recommendation for case 00054A2020 7-0.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brad. Petitioners, thank you. Your petitions have been granted. So good luck with the project as you move forward. And as always, you can reach out to staff. They'll be helping you through this process if you need more direction at that time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
Brad,
move to be adjourned.
thanks. Brad or any board members, before we do adjourn this meeting, any updates, Hannah, anything on your side? I know our next meeting is going to be the 29th at 9 a.m. back on Zoom again. Anything else we need to know?
Just a couple of things. I will, just like that this time, I have the meeting all set up for the 29th, but I won't be sending it till just beforehand. I don't want it to get lost in people's inboxes. And then just like I did yesterday, I will resend the link to everybody, the night before, morning of. It is coming from PBD zoning, not my email. So keep an eye out for that. And then I'll talk to Brad and Krista offline to see if we can't do something to help John have a better connection to our meetings.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, we'll work on that. I think that should be it.
Awesome. Sounds good. Anything from any of the members before we get a motion to close? Seeing none, motion to adjourn the meeting would be in order then, if anyone wants to make that.
I move we adjourn.
So moved.
Benny, Marv, we okay with the voice vote on this one for you, Brad? Okay. You're muted, so I can't hear you there.
I'm sorry. It's your decision.
Go ahead. Voice vote. Motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Sounds good. Thank you all. Thank you, staff. We will see you all.